It's gonna be a coaching session with Yogi. What elo are you, Yogi? You're like Diamond, right?
Diamond 5, yeah.
Diamond 5? Okay. Alright. It's Camille versus Renekton. PTA Renekton, okay. Guessing you're running Comet Resolve
Yep.
this matchup? Okay.
Second wind.
Alright. This is a pretty Camille favored matchup, honestly. Especially
Yep.
with Renekton taking press attack. Should be able to bully him pretty hard in lane. Why are you scared to trade autos with him right there? You can trade autos with him really easily. Like,
I just wanted to draw the wave in so it would push to me for some, but I didn't want to hit the wave with my W there, so it wouldn't push. But
but why do you want the wave to push into you?
yeah, that's what I don't know.
So
For some reason.
your jungler is a Kayn, and
Yeah.
their jungle is Warwick, and Kayn's not really like a good ganking jungler, and usually they do like full clears. Like this
Yeah.
guy's gonna do like Raptors red to Krugs to like Wolves. So pulling the wave against Renekton is pretty meaningless, and also Renekton actually performs better when he shoves the waves, just because he'll be able to get a lot of fury,
Yeah.
which means that his trading's a lot better. So I usually like to just shove in Renekton and just pressure him like over here. So when he walks up to you like that, I would just trade autos. Like level 1, you pretty much have 2 skills, whereas he only has 1 because you have your passive.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can out trade him really hard level 1. Missed your W.
Yeah.
I started throwing the shield, okay. You see how like since he got to push the wave, now he has a lot of fury. So like that's why level 1 you want to contest wave against Renekton, because like once level 2 hits and he has this much fury, you can't trade with him. Wow, that is a terrible combo by Renekton, but okay. I'm gonna turn fog over off. So now this wave is pretty huge. You end up tanking it. Okay. You have to trim these casters if you want to freeze this up.
Yeah.
There's way too many casters. And you see how you not getting priority like kind of leads to Kayn getting fucked.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just like pretty much
Because I don't have wave pressure there.
yeah.
Allow
Since
him
you
to
don't
go.
have priority in your lane because you just like forfeited the first wave, like the level 1 wave, you can't go help him out at all.
Yeah.
And if you do that, then you just have to like ping your jungler, like spam ping your jungler that Renekton's coming, and I didn't see those spam pings.
A little bit
So,
idle
like,
pilot the first few minutes. Okay.
So now this guy's got red buff, and your lane's gonna be pretty annoying. Which means that the first 5 minutes will be pretty much 5 minutes where you didn't really get any sort of lead whatsoever, because now he has red buff and you can't really mess with him. There's bad CSing here.
Yeah, exactly.
So right there, when you go for that EQ, just use your second Q and just get the second auto off. Like use it as an instant auto reset. It's just extra damage, because you're not gonna get that true damage proc anyways. Oh, nice.
Okay, so he messed up there.
Yeah, Renekton stepped up way too far there. Yeah, backing there is fine actually. How much gold you got? Okay. Okay, let me go back. Okay. I think you're like using your W a little too much, just like trying to CS. Like,
Guess we're just trying to get it, but
yeah,
since I
that
didn't
one's
want to
fine.
miss it. Okay.
So using E like that, you really want to have a ward out first. Like if you
Yeah,
eat in right there, and if you E in right here and Warwick comes, you're dead. You have no flash. Renekton stuns you. They run you down.
exactly.
And
So
so like if
that's
you
that's
like you do have red
that's.
buff and you I know you want to pressure, but you really have to have at least this boarded.
hmm
So
So basically, I have to every time I eat, I actually got to think about where the jungler is before I
yeah,
do
yeah.
anything.
And
Like always.
Since Warwick started bot side and cleared like up to top, like he could definitely still be up here. Like he invaded Kane's red blue buff and he could have went to do Raptors and Krugs and he could have like pathed up top.
hmm
It's a possibility. So and you haven't seen him anywhere else. So you actually have a decent freeze going. This will break out and push back out to him, but you're denying some creeps, which is good. But like, if you have this warded though, you can be even more aggressive. Like you can actually E in when he walks up. If you
Yeah.
have this warded, and you have trinkets, so you have double trinkets, so there's no reason not to ward this right now. Like just ward right here, kind of deep, since ward can run up.
Because I was a little bit autopilot. Because I usually do that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just forgot. And I usually just forget when I'm like on my side
Uh huh.
because it's like, yeah, no, it's just something weird I do where I just don't ward even though it's
So
still
yeah, so
beneficial.
right here I would actually play it more aggressive. As in, what I mean is, so right here, when you have red buff, like all you have to do is Q a minion and then run up to Renek with W,
Yeah.
and then just run up to him, and then he's either forced to dash out, or I guess like he can stun you with his W, but he has no fury, and your passive shield, and you have Comet. So like
And
if
red
you
buff.
Q a minion, you get the movement speed buff. You run up to him, W him, and then he's either forced to take that damage with the second Q, or he's forced to dash out. If he does dash out, then he's zoned away from the next wave because you still have your E up. And this trade pattern, also you're very safe from a gank because obviously you don't use your E. So like, even though you are doing a decent job denying this guy, you could be doing like even better job of pressuring him right now.
Yeah.
Especially since you have red buff. Because like you have your W, you have your comment, and that's just like kind of going to waste right now. Like you're just like, obviously like he's not getting the CS, but you can like you have full mana, you have comment, you have red buff, so like you could be forcing trades, and maybe if you could force a couple more trades, you can get him low enough where you can threaten a dive once the wave crashes into tower, right?
Yeah.
So like little things like that, you can build up the lane pressure, leading to a dive. Especially like since you'll be hitting 6 soon. Like say you took a couple of those trades earlier, like level 4, level 5. That means you could have had the Renekton like half health, and you have this huge wave building up, and you'll be 6 before him, and you can maybe even threaten a dive. Like, and if you do that, then his lane is absolutely over since he doesn't
Yeah.
have teleport.
Okay. Because I just try to. I thought it was risky or something. I don't know, like.
Yeah, because
I get.
the QWQ pattern, like that's not risky at all. Because even if the ward
Yeah,
comes,
yeah.
like there's no way you die as long as you have your E.
Because I'm just not used to, like, I always try to engage with E, which is probably a big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I gotta abuse the Q move speed more.
Yeah, yeah. This is a time wasted. He's playing way too far back. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So when
Because I was
you
just trying to pressure.
yeah, when you roam like that, like you can usually like the enemy top laners will ping as soon as you disappear into disappear into fog of war, and
Yeah.
try to look at the mid laner's reaction. Like look at this Vel'Koz where he's playing. As soon as you start to roam, like he's playing all the way back here.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's pinging it too, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like there's like a very high probability that Renekton pinged the Vel'Koz, which is what happened, and he's just playing way too safe. So
Because I thought it would be. I think I knew that was gonna happen, but
Mhm.
I thought it was just a good thing to pressure anyway,
Hmm.
since I didn't think I was gonna miss too much.
Yeah, you know,
Uh,
you end up missing like one melee, which is okay, but I think this is what you could have done alternatively. So if instead of doing what you did,
mhm.
what you could have done is you push this wave in. Imagine you don't use your trinkets for these bushes. Imagine you run into their jungle.
Yeah.
There's no way you die, right? It's a level
No.
5 Renekton. He's catching wave at the tower. He can't collapse. Level 5 Warwick. Even if you face check into him, you can't kill him, but you won't die either. Vel'Koz is held up mid, so this is like a very good opportunity for you to use your trinkets into deep wards.
Yeah.
So if you ward like here, you could even ward here, and then Warwick blue's coming up like 7 minutes, and then his red will come up at like 7:30, and those wards will last until then. And
Yeah.
those wards will give you information. Like these wards, like are very inferior to these wards, and this is time you've bought for yourself by shoving
Yeah.
this huge wave in where Renekton is held up here. That Renekton cannot come into your the jungle to follow you up. So like that time, instead of going for this roam, which is like a very low percentage play,
Hmm.
just because of how the wave is positioned, and Fizz is still level 5 for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he is. So like if Fizz was level 6, this would be a much higher percentage play. But even then, like Vel'Koz has both sums, and
Yeah.
like these wards are guaranteed wards that are gonna help your team out.
Yeah.
So you end up missing one melee, which is not too big of a deal. Um, but anyways, like those wards could have been really good for your team.
Hmm.
Because it's just a butterfly effect. Like if they see Warwick on the top side of the map from your wards, then like your bot lane can like play super aggro, and your team can just like play accordingly. So right here, you have to push this wave. You have to auto these minions really hard, because you see what he's trying to do. He's trying to shove this wave in and reset. So since you like didn't hit these creeps that much, like this wave just builds up too hard, and you can't actually uh contest it. Wait, why is he backing?
Yeah. I
the
don't
heck?
understand either.
Okay.
I think I do get a long freeze.
Yeah,
here.
he doesn't even have teleport and he backed. Wow. Okay. Yep. Trim the casters. It's good. Yep. This is a really nice freeze. I don't know what the Renekton is doing. But going back on the topic, so say you did have these like bushes warded, right?
Hmm.
That means that let's see. You see Warwick right here? You would have spotted him. And that just you can just make plays off of that. Like if like since Kane was right here, if you see the Warwick taking red buff and then leaving topside, right? Like say he leaves through this way, then you can just tell Kane to come up because you have your ultimate, and this is like the wave position is really good for you guys, right?
Yeah.
So like Renekton has to come all the way up here, even though if he has this warded, if you go Eon to him and Kane comes by, then this is a free kill. But it's not a free kill if you look at the Fog of War right now. You don't know where Warwick is, right?
Exactly.
So you go for this play and Warwick counter ganks. Look at your items. Like since you didn't go by and this guy has Phage, they actually have item advantage, right? So like if you go for this play and Warwick was here, that means you guys get counter ganked and you probably lose the 2v2, especially since Renekton's stronger and Warwick's stronger in the 2v2 to the counterparts. But if you had gotten these wards in and you spotted the Warwick and say he like left through like this bush, because there's nothing for him to take after this red buff, right? Like he could go for the scuttle, I guess, but then you would spot him there too, and by the time he goes to scuttle, you guys can kill the Renekton before he comes up.
Yeah. I guess I was just like thinking, or my thought process was just like I just want to farm and go for late, and I just didn't want to risk anything, but because I didn't really.
Oh, that's the
about
thing.
it.
Like if you
Much
really
farther
want
than
to
that.
like hard carry and influence the game by yourself,
Yeah.
like because if you don't get like, if you like push your advantages in every like aspect, like level 4, level 5, when I said like you can push this, like those are like opportunities. Obviously, like this is a lane that you outscale, and is good for you to farm in the in lane. But the thing is, you can actually win the lane even harder and carry harder
Yeah.
without putting yourself in danger. Like level 4, level 5, if you just like don't use your E and trade, like you're not actually putting yourself in danger anyways. So um, like there's a difference between playing the lane safe and playing the lane like too safe to the degree where
Yeah.
you're not like taking advantage of everything you can. So like you're going for this play, and this is actually a really risky play.
Yeah, exactly. I almost died here too, I think, because of
Yeah.
the heal.
If imagine if Warwick actually showed up here, like this is
Yeah.
a really bad play. Now, thankfully the Warwick was bot. He just spotted him, but like these are the type of plays that throw your lane. Like imagine if you die there, you don't have teleport, and say like they go 2 for 0, then you lose top lane.
Yeah.
So like obviously it worked out just because Warwick wasn't top, but you could have made this play a lot safer had you had these wards in. And
Yeah.
if the Warwick did come top and you had those wards in, you could have spotted him, and you guys wouldn't have gone for that risky play.
All right.
But you're in a really good spot in this lane now. TPing. It's a little late on the teleport. Yeah, ended up getting the tower, which is pretty shitty. I think you could have TP'd a little earlier.
Yeah. I didn't realize
Yeah, bot lane
he
actually
was
lost.
going for it. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So like this is the butterfly effect I'm talking about. Like if you had these wards and you saw Warwick like pathing bot side and your team saw that, maybe this play wouldn't have worked for the enemy team, right?
Yeah.
If you saw the Warwick on those wards and you spam pinged your bot laner or like typed to them, hey, Warwick's going bot side, maybe they would have played safer and maybe you guys wouldn't have lost first tower. So like these are the little things that like those two could like, yeah, that these stack up. Like those wards could have maybe saved your bot lane. Who knows? Maybe they wouldn't have listened to your warnings, but they might have, you know?
Yeah.
So like that's just like having a game impact as a top laner. Like you don't necessarily have to make a roam play. Like getting those deep boards in itself is like actually really good for your team.
Yeah. You gotta think more short or long term when I go.
Yeah. Also just think about like the potent, like how likely is this play likely to succeed. Like when you roam mid, like Fizz was level 5, Vel'Koz was 6, like full health. He had both sums up. Like that play is like a pretty low percentage play, whereas like getting those deep wards in is like you're not gonna like lose anything from putting those wards in. You're not gonna die. So just like think about like what's the high percentage play. Like sure, this is like a big payout if you do make it work. If you do kill the Vel'Koz, it's a really big payout, but the thing is it's like a pretty
it's really high variance.
Yeah, very high variance, and that's not what you want. You want like to do consistent things in order to climb. You almost have Triforce, you're like 200 off. And right here, this is another great chance to run into their enemy jungle.
Yeah, and ward.
So
And
the reason why I keep saying running through their jungle is because running through the river, there's no difference in terms of like roaming potential. Like if you path this way, you can like if this Vel'Koz is overextended, like going through river and going through here is the same. Like you can still kill the Vel'Koz. I would argue this might be even better because Vel'Koz might have this warded and you can come in through this side, right? And by going this path, you can put a ward down here without losing much. And if you walk down here, and if the Vel'Koz notices that you're missing, then you just put this ward down and you go back top.
Yeah.
So that's just a much better roaming path to take.
Or I could have just warded the jungle again if
Yep.
I saw this recall.
Mm-hmm.
I also didn't buy any pinks so far.
Yeah.
I just noticed. So
At this point, Zara's lane swapping up.
I think something weird happens. I think this turns into a fiesta a little bit.
Okay.
So,
So right here, after Caitlyn clears this wave, your actual what I would have done is, since you're 600 off, I would type to my bot laner that to swap up, and just clear this wave really hard. Like clear this wave really hard, get Triforce, and then just run, and then just recall, and then go bot, and then
Yeah.
tell your bot laners to come up top. If they don't listen, then just push this wave in and recall. That's fine, but that's the technically the correct play to do.
yeah.
So Zaya stays bot. Okay.
I think I was expecting Warwick to be top 2 here.
Yeah.
Or that they were going to go for dive or something like that.
Huh. But again, this is a play that's also again risky. Like you see how you had no idea where Warwick was. Like you see him now, but say he was on this side, like doing Krugs or something.
Yeah.
He has ultimate. He's 202. Could have been another risky play that could have been avoided had you gone here and then warded these areas.
Yeah.
I would push. You can push another one in because he doesn't have teleport.
This is a really bad fight, I take.
Okay, you don't have ultimate here.
Yeah.
Kane goes in. Okay, interesting. Kane play. Oh. Okay. Well, that's not too bad, but
Shouldn't have gone for it in the first place. I
yeah,
think.
just because you didn't
Really
have
worth it.
flash or ultimate, it's really hard to make that happen. Especially
Probably got
especially
one more
since like these
auto.
guys had some, yeah.
I could have killed the Xayah if I weaved one more auto somewhere.
Weaved auto
but,
better. Okay, we can watch that.
But I don't think it would be worth anyway. Regardless. Or maybe it would have because she wouldn't have been able to ult, but...
Yeah, you could have auto queued.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, either way, like Zaya had ultimate and flash, so she kind of played it badly. Like if Zaya just ulted earlier, she would have been fine too. So overall, just not a smart play to go for.
Yeah.
And that shutdown is huge. Like when you're 3-0, and you give a kill streak away, that's really big, and you end up actually having to waste TP as well. So that like you could have just ran topside and gotten all that farm, and sure, like they would have taken mid tower, but
They would have taken it anyway.
yeah, they took it anyway. So yep. Next Drake's Infernal. So like you not having teleport for that Infernal is also gonna be really annoying, and like because if you have TP advantage, especially for Infernal, that means like since you can beat the Renekton 1v1 in the side lane, that could have been really good. Especially when a big objective like Infernal is coming up, having okay. Wow, the Renekton's okay. It was a really good fight for you guys. And this should be Rift Herald and top tower probably. Yeah.
I don't think we take
Kane's-
Rift Herald though.
Kane decides to back. This is okay. I would have personally. I think the most ideal situation was if Fizz goes mid to catch this wave, and yeah, I guess Kane can back it also, but I would have told the Fizz to not stay for the tower because you don't need help taking this tower if you have Janna and Camille. So I would have told the Fizz to go take that wave mid. So that's like another 200 gold right here, right?
Yeah.
Just a full wave. So.
Tiny things stacking up.
Yep. And like obviously that's something that Fizz should know how to do, but you can also tell him like if you're the smarter player. At this point, I would actually take red buff at this point. Like just be selfish in solo queue. Like right now, Caitlyn's 1 and 4, right?
Yeah.
She's not a strong champion at all, and you have Triforce and Tiamat tabbies. Like if you take red buff, like and you walk into lane and Renekton shows up, you just E on him and you just kill his ass, like very easily. So I would have actually just taken that red.
Because I wasn't aware that it was going up. I wasn't looking for it for some reason.
Because Kane with red buff isn't that great either, right? Like honestly, it's the best best used on you right now. Nice. You decide to back here. I think this could have been a pressure for mid right here. So you have two. Wait, who else died? Was it Zyra?
I don't think anybody else died. Oh
Zyra was dead for 3 seconds. Okay. 800 gold. Okay. I guess this is okay back. I was thinking maybe you could pressure mid, but Warwick is up and Zyra just came back up, so and Zaya has ulti, so it's a little hard. So now Inferno's coming up in 50, and look at that, like you don't have teleport, right? So like, and does Fizz have teleport? He does not. So Fizz ends up going top. He doesn't have TP, so now you have to tell your Fizz, hey, just clear that one wave and just run to Inferno. But had you had teleport, right? That means that
I could have gone top.
Yeah, you could have gone top, and if Renekton shows up, you can solo kill him because you're a lot stronger than him. If they send 2 after you, then you get Inferno, and what you can do is you can just dominate this side of the map right here on the minimap. Like if you have teleport and Inferno's coming up, their team can't afford to send people top. So that means you can just shove this part up and you just run into their jungle and ward up these areas. And you just own those areas. And if Renekton decides to group with his team for Inferno, then all you have to do is tell your teammates back up, just stall, and you just push for tower. And even if you don't get the tower, if you crash the waves in, then that's really good for your team, because enemy team is gonna miss all that CS. And if the Renekton stays with his team and decides to commit for Drake, that's when you TP in.
Yeah.
So that's just another butterfly effect. Like if you hadn't made that play mid, you didn't have to teleport for top, and this TP could have been very crucial for this Infernal Drake, and you could have pressured it really hard.
Yeah.
Instead, King gets caught.
I think I go full ape right here, going in. Really
Yeah,
bad.
as soon as the
And
Kayn
blow my
dies,
flash.
it's just time to bail. Like once the Kayn dies and Caitlyn gets caught with Warwickle, I'll just run away, right here.
Yeah.
And you could have ran.
I was just autopilot, or I'm just not paying enough attention. For some reason, I thought we could fight that, and it's like I didn't realize. For some reason, I saw Kayn and Caitlyn die, and I still have it in my head that we can win a fight like that. That's just really
And
dumb.
you go for the Sterix build here. I think you were fed enough to just go Ravenous Hydra. You're 2 levels up under Renekton.
Yeah,
So
I
what you
did.
can,
I did end up going for Ravenous. I just wanted to get the Sterix earlier for the
yeah.
damage.
Well, the thing is, the reason why Ravenous early is so good when you're ahead like this is that you have such a lane priority that you can just shove and just take jungle camps like crazy,
Yeah.
and because you have lifesteal and you don't have to worry about losing health. Also, it just gives you the most upfront damage if you rush Ravenous. And this Renekton is nowhere enough threatening for you to get Sterix, in my opinion. And this game, you don't have to team fight. Like, team fighting
Yeah.
against that comp is actually pretty tough for Camille. First of all, they have a Xayah, who's very, like, slippery. Like, she's one of the harder AD carries to deal with as Camille. If the Xayah plays well and uses her well, it's hard. And Zyra also puts down her, like, zone with her ultimate. And Warwick also has a ton really good CC, so like that comp is actually not that great for you to team fight against. So that's why I think Ravenous would have been a lot better, because you're so ahead of the Renekton that I think split pushing would have been the better option here. And you can just tell your teammates to just play safe. Come. And you guys still haven't gotten this mid tower, and this warding is very prominent in the sense that like I don't see you getting good enough wards. Like if you're split pushing bot and you had enough time to ward, like put a ward here. This ward is also very good, and yeah, really have to work on warding for sure.
Yeah. There was a time where I did do it. I guess I just kind of forgot everything about warding for some reason.
So like if you have this ward, then you can play this situation a lot more aggro. Like now that you don't have this warded, like you don't know where Warwick is. Like he could be coming down if you go on the Renekton. So it just those wards just enable you to play to your strengths, which is that like you can 1v on this Renekton, but if you don't have those wards out, then you can't go for those plays.
Yeah, I go for fight mid, I think.
Nice. Definitely the right choice to go for the Zyra there.
I think I'm... Do I die? I don't know. Not sure.
Okay, you got the Sterix, and like you looks like you want to group, but there's no need to. Yeah, just go bot. And what you can do here is honestly just do this, like, so you push up bot, and then all you have to do is run into their jungle, and then you can even threaten a dive through mid, right? You have Sterix, you're really tanky. If you can E onto like either Zyra or Vel'Koz that's sitting behind tower, that could be a dive for you guys, especially with like a fizzle.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Renekton can't challenge you in following you into this jungle, because if he follows you into jungle and you turn, like if he follows you in here and you turn on him, then he's gonna lose half your health, right?
Yeah.
And then if he loses half his health, then you can just do the same thing again. And then now this time he really can't follow you. So that's what you gotta do. You gotta just force Renekton into just like bad choices, and by pressuring a dive here, like the enemy backline has to back off, and you guys like Caitlyn can get some free autos. And this is also a situation where Fizz should not be grouped up mid. Like you should be telling your Fizz go top. Like Fizz is not a champion that you want to group up with a Caitlyn Janna mid game. Like, especially since they have Vel'Koz. Like, this is turning into ARAM mid except for you, which is good for the enemy team. They have a Vel'Koz. You have a Fizz. If Fizz goes top, no one, who's going to match him? Like, they send Vel'Koz top? That's not great. Vel'Koz in a side lane? That sucks. If they could send Xayah, and that's also not great because she's an AD carry. So, like this Fizz should not be grouped up here. And obviously, like ultimately, it's Fizz's like his own choice to like whether to do that or not. But you can tell your Fizz to do that, and most of the times they'll listen to you anyways.
If you don't call them retards.
Yeah. Like these type of kills are great, but like that play is just the Vel'Koz's mispositioning. So like
For some reason I flashed there.
so like all this whole entire sequence is not from a correct play, is from just a mistake.
Yeah.
Like the correct
So
play is to shove up bot and then rotate and then pressure. But since the Vel'Koz is sitting all the way here instead of sitting at tower, this play works. But
Yeah.
if the Vel'Koz does a right move and just sits at tower, this play does not work. And then what is happening is that you're just like sitting here and wasting your time. Meanwhile, they just catch up on farm. And I would have ran top right here and let the Kate and Kane take turret, mid turret. Cause I don't think Vel'Koz is up. I guess you guys can take this tower. Okay. Again, the Vel'Koz is wow. All right. But like these are the plays that as you go up in higher elo, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Like the better players you face, like they're not gonna make those kind of mistakes, and that's not gonna work. That's pretty much how you improve. Like instead of relying on these type of like low percentage plays, you just play the correct way, which is to just shove up bot and then pressure mid through the jungle. So right here, after you guys take inhib, why not reset? You have enough gold, 2,000 gold.
I don't remember. I thought it was like, oh, I have that buff. I can just heal up, get more farm. I don't know. It's just weird.
Because this wave is slow pushing into you guys right here, right? So so right here, all you have to do is, since the wave is slow pushing into you, you don't have to push this wave out. You can just go farm Raptors for Ravenous because you need 2,300. So after taking this crab, you can just go take the Raptors and recall. And once you recall and get Ravenous, like you got 3-item Camille power spikes. You go back bot. This wave is slow pushing into you guys, so like Renekton's not gonna get this farm, and you can just 2v1 people at that point and just accelerate the game. Instead, you go bot, push this wave up. And now their enemy team is gonna catch all this wave if they send someone here. Yep, they send 2 people there and they catch all that farm. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for some reason, like I tried to create a big wave where you like clear the casters and wait for the like slow push the melee, so it creates a huge wave. But
well,
instead,
creating the huge wave is fine for Baron, but the thing is, like, you have to reset right now. You're on way too much gold. Like,
it makes no sense to do it.
Yeah.
It's just doing the play.
And at this point, if you have 3 items, you can honestly just dive Renekton solo under tower.
Yeah.
If you have Ravenous here, like even if you can't dive him, you can just go for like quick like E second Q trade and just like chunk him for half and just lifesteal off minions, and then he can't stay under tower anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and your team is just going for a Baron pressure, but they don't even have to do this. Like if you have Ravenous here. Renekton for some reason decides to group. I don't know why, but these are all just incorrect plays. Like that's happening. Like you could have well been here, like with all your items at this point, if you had done the reset after Raptors. Now your team ends up catching the Zaya. You guys, they end up winning the 4v5 somehow. I don't know. I don't know. But
I think they lose it after. I'm not sure.
yeah, but just really work on going for the like the high percentage plays rather than the low ones, and
Yeah.
yeah, like these
I
plays,
wasn't
these team fights that you guys won weren't really like team fights that you guys won because you played it correctly, and
dumb luck.
yeah, pretty much.
Relying on the enemy to fuck up.
Yeah, pretty much. And like you could have closed this game out with your split push really hard, but instead, like the enemy team fucked up a lot, and that's pretty much their demise, is fucking up rather than you like properly split pushing.
Yeah.
So, do you have any other questions about this game? Because the rest of it seems just pretty.
I don't know actually. Mm,
But going
no.
back, I think the laning phase, I think you could have played a lot more aggro onto the Renekton. Like you won the lane, but you could have won it harder, I think. Um, work on the warding, work on the running into their jungle when you get the push lead, and yeah, just pretty much like this. I think you're doing a good job of the shove roam, shove roam. Like I recognize like the pattern that you like the correct pattern is to like always to shove and then roam, and I think you were doing that correctly. It's just that
Just at the wrong times.
it's just that instead of doing the guaranteed like the deep board plays, instead of going for that, you're going for the roams, and that are not like a high percentage play, and definitely work on warding. And I haven't seen, I don't think I saw a pink ward either. Like
Nah, I didn't get a single one.
yeah, and like
Good.
if you, since you won this lane so hard, you could have like pinked here, and they probably would have never seen it,
Yeah.
right? So you can just like choke out Warwick with that, because like if you have these wards in there deep in his jungle, if Kane or Fizz decides to invade the jungle with you, right? Like say Warwick's on his Raptors, he used his E, like you can like Camille and Fizz and Kane have so much pick potential. Maybe you can just kill the Warwick in his jungle and like tilt the fuck out of him.
It also matters what matchup is mid lane, right? So
Yeah, but
like
like
a control mage who just shoves, and you have like a no
yeah,
CC.
yeah, yeah.
Like
And
that.
this is a really easy dive too. Like say you got say you got these wards in, right? And you know that Warwick's not on this side, and you got the you get the shove in on the Renekton. What you can do is you just run them to Raptors, tell Fizz to shove up this wave, and then you just go in. And then it's Vel'Koz. Like what can Vel'Koz do against a Fizz Camille diving? You guys have two ways to drop turret aggro, and you can just tilt the fuck out of the Vel'Koz too with this. So
Yeah.
you can like pretty much win your mid and jungle for your team through your lead top lane that you got.
Yeah.
You know? So
That's impacting the
Yep.
game.
yeah.
Basically, when that one guy, I don't know, it was like Korean pro. He was like, where he was destroying his enemy,
Uh-huh.
his enemy laner, and it was just like, no, I'm not happy. I could have destroyed them way harder, this and that, you know.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I
Like
think that's
you
a
could have beat the
mentality
Renekton harder in lane. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah. All right.
Because I'm just really passive. But
Yep.
I think this is also why I wanted to do the other game where it went south, so
Okay.
I can know how to prevent, because those type of games, the
Uh-huh.
bad one, is like those happen a lot to me, and I think it's partially because me, like, sure, my team kind of fed in that game, but I think if I played it correctly, I
Okay.
would have, I would have been able to carry easily. And it's like I can't recognize exactly how and
Okay.
whatever. So
So this is a game you lost, but
yeah.
you're not sure what you could have done better.
Well, I'm pretty sure I know what I could have done better,
Uh-huh.
but there's so much more you can show me, or
Okay.
just know so much more that I think it would be more beneficial to look at it
Okay.
than just
Okay.
looking at it myself, because I don't have all the knowledge.
Yeah. Okay, so this game you're against Riven using Aftershock. Alright, you have a Jarvan mid, okay.
This is a game where Riven gets a pentakill, so I was really tilted too at some
Mm-hmm.
point. So, but I think all in all, it was my fault that Riven got a penta in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Not just because I made her get ahead, but also just in the team fight itself, fucking up,
Yeah.
not preventing it. It's like here I was lagging out, but
Okay.
well, we'll see later. We'll see later, and just
I would
focus
have
on that
actually
first.
I would have actually told your at least to start bot side.
Yeah.
And yeah, especially in matchups like Riven versus Camille. I really don't like having to not have my jungler topside level 3. Right here, auto
Could have
missed.
auto.
Yep.
Yeah.
Auto QQ. So that could have been 2 autos. The Riven might have dashed out of your last auto, but still. What did Riven start?
Missed the
Thorn
CS.
Shield. Okay.
I missed one CS just to auto her when she was autoing.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, but I'm seeing you just like
Awesome.
walk up and you're just using your Q instantly, and
Yeah.
you don't have to do that. You can just walk up to the just a regular auto and then Q. She just used her stun. You can actually go in on her. Here, let me see. She used her stun, right?
I don't think she did. Maybe she did. No.
Yeah, right here.
Oh yeah, she
She's
did.
just
Oh.
showing, like you can go in with the E right here. She also used
I think
all of her Qs too, right? Yeah.
For some reason I didn't go in. It's weird.
Yeah, that could have been a really good trade for you, because he can't. If she doesn't have her stun, then she can't proc her aftershock. Like she can proc it with the third Q, but the way the trading is gonna work is if you E in, you're gonna do all your damage before she can proc her third Q and get her aftershock anyways, right? So that would have been a
Also,
really good trade for you.
yeah. Also, I think I didn't level my E second for some
Oh,
reason.
oh no, you
I,
did.
I can't remember. Oh,
You
you
have
did?
your E.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's really dumb. In the CS. Look, this is just a really bad game for me mechanically as well. But like,
And this is also
even
right here, like it's a Jax jungle. He started bot side. You have to have this warded at this
yeah,
point of the game. You have no vision topside. It's a Jax Riven. They have enough damage. They have pretty good gap closers, and they also have CC. Like this is it's 250. Jax can clear 3 camps by 240 and come up top like 245 ish. Like this should have been warded,
yeah.
100%.
So once again, warding really bad.
Yep. Because right now, like if they go on you, you might actually have to burn flash. They might not be able to kill you, but they'll definitely blow a flash right now.
Yeah, here's where I get yanked.
Yep.
I think I live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually live. Okay. But this, like getting ganked like this, like it's sure you didn't lose flash, but you end up popping your potion, and now you've lost all lane pressure.
Yeah.
And it could have been just avoided if you put just a one more down. Ooh, auto cancel. Ooh.
Yeah. Like I said, I really wasn't on point with my mechanics this game.
Okay. I actually really like maxing E. Just
Yeah?
because of aftershock.
Oh, that's fair.
Ooh, that was a really good third Q cancel. I think you should have just kept walking it forward right here instead of Wing.
I guess I just thought that Jax might have been in the brush behind her.
But
some
you
reason.
have flash up, so that's the
Yeah.
thing. So right here,
Okay.
if the Jax is there, you already used your E anyways. Like, so if you go in here and Jax is there, and EQs, you just flash out. Like,
Yeah, but
and
when I hit the W after that, like maybe I could. Oh, you mean I should?
no,
have
I
committed
mean
earlier?
you should have kept walking this right
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Okay, here. Let's
Yeah, I
watch
walked
it.
back.
So right here, you do a really good job of doing the third Q cancel. And why not orb walk right here? Like
Yeah,
after
like
you
walk
land that
up.
third second Q, you should be keep walking forward. You cancel the auto and you
Yeah, I
walk back.
cancel auto. And I had aftershock, so
So that this could have been a kill.
yeah. Fuck.
At least a flash blown. At least.
Wow. Oh
Oh
yeah, oh
boy.
yeah, and that was really bad.
All right.
Yeah. Fuck.
And then now the wave is in a terrible spot for you to back in from that.
Yeah.
So say
But I had no
say so
choice.
say so say that had gone better. Say you had kept walking after her and blown her flash. That means that Riven would have had to back in a really bad spot, and you can just push this whole wave in and reset. Instead, now you're forced to back because you have no mana, and Riven TP's back, and now you're missing a bunch of creeps in the time you're TPing.
And she gets a big freeze if she does it correctly.
Yep. And you don't have flash, and she does.
Also, this is where I play really bad. I think I just don't even walk down to ward or something, and get killed by the Jax. I don't know. Maybe I do ward and I don't even see him, even though it's warded.
Okay.
This really tilted me for some. Okay, I do ward. Or not.
Alright, you bought a control word too, so that was good.
Yeah.
I think Talia's coming up, right? Talia's missing.
I think she. No, I saw her back.
Okay.
I think. So, at that point.
But yeah, that pretty much that level 3 fight could have been really good for you. But now Ribbon's up 5 CS and you're flash down. So, and this is a matchup that I've always said like it becomes worse for Camille post 6 just because Ribbon's ultimate is way better than Camille's ult in a 1v1 scenario. I would actually call my jungler right now, like spam ping jungle right now. Like the reason is because you're one creep away from 6, right? You have this pink ward. It's freezing, pushing into you, and this could be a really good game. Riven does have flash, so you might not kill, but you'll definitely at least blow flash, and Jax is back.
She has no HP after.
See if this could have been played better.
So, Elise definitely should have cocooned later, that's for sure, but I don't know, maybe I went in a little bit too early. Or I shouldn't even have had used my E.
So right here, auto missed. So, if you slow it down, let's watch it again. Auto Q. It should be auto Q. So you just use Q. And she lives with 130. Okay. Whoa.
Yeah, shouldn't even have gone for that since the wave was so big. If she dodged it, I would have just been dead.
Yeah. I think it could have been played a little bit better. I think you would have actually gotten this kill if you maxed E though, just because E max just gives you more sustained DPS. With your so like at this point you would have had level 3 E, which is like 60% attack speed, and I think you would have been able to kill.
Yeah, I guess when I watched your matchup video on Riven, you said you usually max it Q, so that's just what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Unconditionally, which is oh, and I guess my cannon.
Yeah. Now that so pretty much every time I run aftershock. Wait, this is a really bad back. Oh no.
Yeah.
You don't have teleport. No.
Yeah, it's really bad.
You missed this whole wave and he can freeze us now. So, I think the correct I think the correct move was as soon as you clear this back.
Yeah.
This is the best, like right now, back. This is the best recall you're gonna get. Since you end up shoving this wave out and Camille's wave clear being as bad as it is, like you end up not being able to fully reset this. At this point, like you can try to reset this, but Riven will show up by the time and to freeze it, so that's gonna be bad as well. It obviously wouldn't be like if you stayed and shoved this wave, it wouldn't be as bad as like this reset you got. Like, but you had no mana, so like that could have been also really bad if like Talia ulted top or something. Yeah. So after you clear that wave under tower, you should have backed immediately, and you wouldn't have missed too much.
Yeah, we get that's one of my most common mistakes when I get behind is when I just totally forget everything I know about wave management.
Yeah, like look at what happens to this wave. You already lost a full wave and you missed you didn't I don't think you missed XP, but you missed some CS off of those as well. Like, and now you're massively behind in XP. So you're same XP right now, but she still has 4 caster to farm.
Yeah, 3 caster. Or no, she got 1 more, I think.
Yeah. And XP lead is huge in top lane.
Okay.
I think you saw Jax.
Yeah, I saw. I guess I didn't see Jax, but I could have seen Jax if I looked at my minimap. I don't even know. Did he do blast?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, no.
You saw him.
Oh yeah. And I use my E, so I just lose every possibility.
You could have played this better too.
Yeah, I could have dodged the Jax ults and bought more time for Jarvan to get there.
Yep.
But...
So as soon as as soon as Jax shows up on your radar, like all you have to do is after you eat, just start running this way. Why not run this way? But instead you keep fighting him.
Jarvan walking up.
Yeah. I mean, either way, even if Jarvan is not coming, this is your best escape path right here.
Mm-hmm.
End up dying. And the lane is over. You have no teleport. You're gonna miss such a huge wave here. This is 2 waves right here that you're... So you missed a full wave earlier, and this is like pretty much another 2 full waves. So you're pretty much not in a spot to like really carry at all this game. This game is now up to the hands of your teammates. At this point, you can like try to hang on and just go even with the Riven. If you do that, then that's good. But in terms of the early game impact and pressure, like you're not going to be able to do much anymore.
Yeah.
Like look at the level discrepancy. You're level 8, like 30%. This guy is level 8 with like 70%, and look at this huge wave that she's getting to farm.
Yeah.
She's gonna be probably like a full level.
I could have also just cleared the pink that's in there and go ward the red, maybe.
Yep.
So just more that auto.
So if you had cleared this ward, maybe Jarvan could have made a play.
Would have been able to gang. Yeah.
Yep. At this point in the game, you do have teleport, and all you can do is really just kind of go even with Riven and just look for like good TP opportunities if they arise. But since Riven also has teleport, you're just gonna be, it's gonna be have to like something that the enemy team's like super low or overextended that you can TP into. That's about it. It's like Jarvan comes up for a gank here. Your E gets cancelled.
She cancels my E. Yeah. There was a point where they made a big mistake where we could have gone made a comeback. So
Yeah.
still an interesting game, I think.
But I think the biggest mistake in this game by you was the level 3 fight. You definitely
Yeah.
could have almost. I think you would have been able to solo kill her if you played it correctly. Because you guys both had flashes, and
Trading flashes is pretty good.
usually if you are the like say you both have flashes and you're the one that's threatening a solo kill, it's usually advantages for you just because like you have the first step advantage. Like what I mean by that is like say you you kept following the Riven and auto her enough to be like super low, you can do like a W flash and she can't react to that, right? If she's really good, then she'll predictively flash and dodge it. But if you just do like a W flash offensively, like there's no way like a human can dodge that like reactively. So that's why I say like the aggressor has the advantage in that situation.
Unless you play Osu. Just kidding. um, okay, so I try to freeze and kill miserably, I think. Yeah. So isn't there something about not freezing when your team is really behind, since it just makes it even harder to pressure?
Um, yeah, I would have pushed here. I would have pushed and looked for roam opportunities just because you have your team is like full AD and
Yeah.
it doesn't scale the best to be honest. Like I think Elise will fall off really hard, Jarvan falls off really hard. Ezreal's like okay, you scale pretty well, but they have like Talia and Jax. Riven's also scales pretty decently.
And he has
So
Aftershock versus full AD
yeah.
too.
And at this point, since you guys are kind of behind, I would have been like kind of desperate enough, because you're tanky enough where even if you shove, like Riven can't just like one shot you. So I would have gone to lane and just started shoving and just look for game impact, as in like just running into their jungle, get some wards
Keep
in,
warding.
and then maybe look for ult on to Talia with your Jarvan, because Talia's pretty easy to kill actually. With
So is it good to, like, for example, if you're in a situation where you push out the wave under their tower
yeah.
completely, level 3, to do the same thing with the wards? Or
Um,
is it better to ward in the dry bush and just river?
Depends on how hard you shove that wave in level 3. Like, say
Mm.
you shove that wave in level 3 and you have a. Like, it depends. Like, sometimes if you shove a wave in, you'll miss, like, melees, depending on, like, how hard you shoved in. Like, if you have, like, the wave, like, too big, maybe your wave will kill, like, a melee. And, like, losing a melee XP at, like, level 3 is pretty significant.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like say you're playing red side and you got like the first two waves like pushed in really hard, then you can sometimes go for a ward on blue. And if the enemy jungler is like a slow clearing jungle, like a Zac or something, and your jungler is like a aggressive jungler, they can kind of
Collapse.
use that to like abuse the Zac or something like that. So
Also, isn't like using E to blow their blasting plant early?
yeah, that's pretty also
Thing?
pretty good.
Yeah.
And if you have time, sometimes you don't even have to. You can just walk around and
Yeah.
just save mana. That's definitely something that is really good if you're on purple. If you're on purple side, top side, because this blasting plant is really annoying if you're playing purple side. Yeah, and you kind of aggress here. Jax ends up showing up and you die. And at this point,
From a gank.
I would honestly just run bot. This could be a really good play if you just run bot here. You have pretty good
So, I think.
because you have pretty good synergy with Alistar anyways. So you could just run bot and E right here and then go for a play. I think that might have been a decent play to go for.
Even without ult, or
Oh, did you end up using ult there? Oh, you
Yeah, I
ended up
did
using.
use ult.
Okay, never mind. And you see pretty much how like this game, like Riven ends up TPing bot, and you pretty much don't have a game impact. Like you're freezing the wave, and Just not you have to kind of shove out in these situations because you're letting the top lane bleed out too much. You have to contain your lane. Like if Riven TPs like that, you have to be in a position where you can punish with like a tower.
Because I think I was just hoping they would make mistakes so that it wouldn't snowball too hard for them, so I could freeze and in the end get more CS out of it. But
Yeah, but that's just like wishful
really high
thinking though.
variance.
It's like
Yeah,
wishing that your enemies will fuck up, which is not a great mentality to have in my opinion.
yeah. Because I was just way too tilted. I tried to make a switcheroo, but didn't work.
Okay.
Could have probably maybe escaped there if I eat a little bit later.
Yeah, maybe.
But it doesn't really matter. Shouldn't have been there in the first place.
At this point, your team doesn't really have options. You get outscaled. They have pretty 7k goal lead at 17 minutes, which means that this is a game that is only winnable if the enemy team makes mistakes. All you can hope for is to just farm and hope that enemy team makes mistakes and you can just capitalize on those. But yeah, we can just run through the rest of the game if you want. Otherwise we can focus on the laning part a little more again if you want.
Yeah, I do want to go over the rest of the game.
Okay.
Because like even if it's unwinnable, it's never really, since they will make mistakes. So I think it's still good to like see what I still could have done to like damage control.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
And at this point, you should just be spamming your teammates like you don't have to, like, cause your TP's not up yet, and tell your teammates I can get tower. Just trade Infernal for tower. But I don't think you're like pinging enough. Like you're not shot calling enough. Like as a top laner, when objective fights go on like that, and you're on the other side of the map and you can't like fight it, you have to spam ping your team.
Yeah.
Like Elise can go for that Inferno steal and maybe pay your life for it, but otherwise, like no one else should die for that Inferno since you're getting the tower trade here.
You think I could have pushed one more wave, or is that?
It would be pretty risky. You could ward here and then push it, maybe.
Wouldn't have really made a difference in terms of. Oh yeah, well, Talia was there, so it wouldn't really.
Wait, hold on a sec. Why not TP right here after Lucian dies? You can maybe go kill the.
I just do it way too late.
Oh, okay.
Or no, I don't even. Yeah, I just didn't.
That could have been a pretty good play. I don't know if you would have killed the Jax, but you would. Okay, so these guys fuck up by.
Oh yeah.
That's the tilt hook shot.
Yeah, that's the tilt. Just the icing on the cake.
So that TP would have been the correct play. You end up not doing it, but the enemy team fucks up and overstays, and you end up getting the kills anyways.
So this is where I untilt a little bit, but like spamming winnable, but not really.
Okay. Now that you have TP, you should be going bot lane.
Yeah.
Tell your bot lane to go. This should be Jarvan top, Ezreal mid, and you guys bot. So this is incorrect lane assignments.
Yeah. This is just really desperate of me, I think. Try to kill Riven here. I also give it away a little bit.
I'd look pot. There's a TP right here. Really good TP. Oh man, this could be such a good TP. Oh, I think that would have been actually a really good TP there.
Yeah.
Wait, did they Baron here? They Baron, huh? No one ordered it. That sucks.
I think you need to have one of those alerts where it tells me to look at the minimap every 7 seconds.
Oh yeah, I heard someone does like use like a metronome that like beeps every like couple seconds and they'll like look at the minimap. I was like, damn, that's some dedication.
Yeah. I used to try that, but
Oh, let's go back.
for some reason, it just annoyed me.
This
and
ward
didn't
was
really help
this
me.
TP was way too far. I would have TP'd right here.
Yeah.
Cause
I guess
they
we're just
like
panicking.
they're gonna be here anyways. Like this is a way too far TP. This is where Riven gets a penta.
Yeah.
Looks like a penta fight.
Yeah, and here I go chase the fucking Talia. Could have saved my entire team. I even stopped there waiting. And I fucking ignore the guy. It's like, oh god.
No, not the penta.
Try to go for the outplay, and then get the penta. Could have just ran away.
Yeah.
Nope, it's not even game yet.
Yeah, that could have been a better team. Like that, you guys could have actually won that team fight potentially
Yeah.
because Jax was not here. He was pushing mid. So if you TP'd here and like team fought that better, like without tunneling, because like this Talia had stopwatch. So like the last coaching session I did, like I was telling someone that like you should always like spam tab and check what items that people have.
Yeah.
And if you known that this guy has stopwatch, you'd not have gone for this Talia, because that it's like such a waste of your time. Like she's 0-2-7, she's not that strong. It's gonna take you way too long to kill her. She has tabbies, she has stopwatch, so you would have picked a different target to go for there. And if you guys won that fight and
Stop.
say you killed all 4 and Jax took mid inhib, that's actually really good for you guys, just because you have mid inhib down and the supers will spawn mid and you guys can farm that. And since like you guys, if you get like 4 kills on these people with shutdowns, you'll catch up on XP and gold quite a bit. And since they have Baron, they already took Baron buff, there's no really big objective to contest. Like the next Drake is mountain, you can just give that, and you can just defend at your side turrets and just eat super minion XP, and that's like a good way to get back into the game, because Baron's off the map for another like 6 minutes, right? So that could be another 6 minutes of you guys farming it out and potentially being able to strong enough to win the next Baron fight. So I guess you guys fight for Mountain Drake here at 24 minutes.
Is there actually any tips you might have on preventing tunneling like that? Because I think that's one pitfall I fall into.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what I talked about. Like, always spam tab. That way, you like before the fight even happens, you'll have like a clear idea of who to go for, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you press tab, like this Talia is not the main priority. Like she's 0-2-7 and she has tabbies and stopwatch. Like the Riven on the other hand, like she has cleaver, like not that tank. She has the double lethality item. Like she's definitely going to be a really strong presence in the team fight, and you can lock her down with your ultimate and help your teammates survive against her. So like that's pretty much how to team fight. Like even before the team fight begins, you should already like think about and know who you're going for and who you should be focusing down, and that way you can navigate the team fights much easier rather than just like relying on reaction only. Like it's like the same thing as like a small thing as like a fear or a parry, right? Like if you only use like reaction, like it's hard to do. Like if you use prediction and reaction, it's really easy to do. It's the same with team fights. If you like premeditate like what you want to do in team fights, it's a lot easier. Obviously, like there's going to be variance in the team fights. Like someone might like make a really good flash play or whatever, and then you have to like react to it. But you can definitely like in terms of target selection, you can definitely like think about it beforehand. And And in that team fight, since Riven was like 6-0 with pretty squishy items,
Could have easily been killed.
she should have been the priority.
That's something I actually never think about. Just
Yeah.
fucking planning ahead.
Like even before the game starts, I would say in loading screen, I tend to like go through the routine of like, okay, like I'm playing Camille, like look at the each comps, like, and think about like how you want to play it. Like obviously, like, as the game situation changes, it also changes. Like say your AD carry is super fed, and the enemy AD carry is useless. That means like the target kind of changes. Like say the enemy AD carry was Kog'Maw, and before the game started you're like, okay, I'm gonna go for Kog'Maw, but then say he ends up going like 0-8 and you don't have to kill him, then you're gonna have to switch your target, right?
Yeah.
And just yeah, just you just gotta adapt and think about like whether to whether to like peel for your AD carry, whether to die for someone, like say like the enemy has a super fed like Kog'Maw or Varus who are like immobile and easy to kill. Think about like what kind of peel they have. If they have like Alistair and you go into, even if it's like the AD carry is like an immobile AD carry, if you go in and the Alistair is sitting right there, you're just gonna get CC chained and you're not gonna be able to do anything, right?
You gotta wait for him to
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
stuff, or
And sometimes you
Alistair.
might even say to yourself, okay, well I can't team fight against that team. Like say like the enemy team has like a Tristana Alistair, right? And there's
Yeah.
just like no way you can really do anything in a team fight. Then in those situations you have to just like tell yourself, okay, well this game the only thing I can do is just split push.
Yeah.
So just like before the game even starts, just like go through that routine and think about it, so that so that you're not like busy thinking about this shit like in game, so that you're just like while you're in game you're just playing the game rather than having to think about these things. Like just think about these things like before the game starts.
Also, what was I gonna say? God, fuck. Well, I'll just watch it through. Maybe I'll remember later on. But oh yeah, yeah. So, like, if my only job is really to split,
Yep.
how would you go? Like, I obviously I gotta tell my team like we can't really win fights at all. But
I mean, this is what's gonna happen. Like if you are against a comp that you can't really like team fight against at all, obviously like not team fighting at all like completely is impossible, right? Sometimes like if there's a Baron up or like an Infernal up, like sometimes you will have to team fight. But the thing is, you want to be in a situation where like, so like say like you have teleport and Baron's coming up, and in order to avoid a team fight, what you want to do is like say you catch out the enemy top laner and you kill him, like then that means like you can just shove bot and then pressure, yeah. And also what you can do is like say you can't quite kill him but you're strong enough to the point where you can like force him off the tower, then what you can tell your teammates to do is to just stall the Baron.
yeah.
Like if the enemy team starts Baron and it starts getting low, then you can TP in and you're forced to team fight. And but the thing is, what leads up to that part, like you want to gain a lead before that happens, like before the enemy gets to like just force the Baron. You as a split pusher, you want to be like getting turrets, you want to be getting jungle camps, etc. And especially with Ravenous, say like you're playing blue side and you're really fed, that means like you have split push pressure like bot lane, you can take wolves, you can take Grom, you can take Scuttle, you can put yourself super ahead, and maybe you can get yourself so far ahead enough that even if the enemy team comes really good against you, you're just so strong that you can team fight. Like say you have a GA with Sterix and you can just like run in there and just like tank through everything, and just like even though like the enemy team comes like annoying, like you can just run a train on them. And like you'll see like sometimes if I'm like playing against a tank late game and I'm like a decently fed Camille, like even if I can't kill the tank, like what I'll do is like I'll just go for combos under their tower and I'll just chunk them like for half their health, and I can just lifesteal off of jungle camps, right? and the tank has to go back. And when they go back, you take towers. And if the enemy team decides to force Baron, then you can be in a spot where you can either tell your teammates to just back off, like give the Baron and just like take an inhib, like make a trade, or you can like decide to TP in and fight a fight where the enemy team is already taking damage from Baron and they're in a bad spot. So.
And if I don't have TP, I can still like try to create a big wave and force a Baron fight.
Yeah, if you don't have teleport and you're like a split pusher, then I would say you have to be kind of careful. Like, I would say like maybe start pushing top so that you're closer to Baron side, so that even if you don't have teleport, you have the opportunity to join the fight. That could be a decent alternative.
After I create a big wave, or isn't that really?
Yeah, that also works. Like if you can create like a bot wave to slow push and then go top and then start pressuring that, and then the enemy will be forced to like respond to your bot and top side.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but like what you can do by doing these is that like you can always look to flank, like you by pushing up bot lane and forcing the enemy, whoever is matching you to like sit under tower. Like even if your comp you're not against the annoying comp, you can like start roaming mid and put pressure mid. And say the enemy team is like over here and like they're clearing wards or something, you can like even like run across the map and maybe force an engage. And maybe force a TP. And if you get the TP out from the enemy tank, then like that's your go-to. Like this is like, okay, well I have the TP advantage, now they're fucked. And you just give them such a headache with split push pressure, because Camille is honestly a very, very strong split pusher, because she has really good escapes and she takes towers so fast.
Also, this game, for some reason, I didn't even get him up early on.
Okay.
So, just makes matters worse. And I accidentally get the full range.
I've done that before.
Yeah. And I bait my fucking Elise here, or she gets no. Okay, I didn't really bait her. She's just retarded. But...
Yeah. Yeah, and the game is pretty much wasn't in your control this game, just because of the mistakes you made in the laning phase. So yeah, like I think this game, your awareness was definitely off. Like I don't know if you tilted or what, but Jax like walked through your ward a couple times.
Also, just playing up when not knowing where the jungler is really bad.
The 3-minute ward, the ward was super late. That also lost you a bunch of health.
So as a rule, like it should be
like before the game starts. So that's another thing you should check before the game starts. Like what's the enemy jungler? Who are they? Where are they gonna start? Where did they start? How fast do they clear? Like have a mental note. Like if it's most junglers can clear like 3 camp by like 240 and can come top by like 245. I think Shaco can do like 3 camps in like 225 or something. He's like the fastest clearer. But yeah, just give yourself a mental note. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to ward around 240 because the jungler could be top. So that's just like another like something that you can think of before the game starts, so that you don't have to like you can be focused on the laning itself when the time comes.
And when you're like something cheesy, like Twitch or Jarvan starting red and coming top level 2.
Yeah, that could also be.
If you like anticipate that.
Yeah.
Do you just actually just sit on a turret and wait?
I mean, you could just trinket early if you're really scared of that.
I mean, versus Twitch though, or do you just really deep?
Oh, versus Twitch. Yeah. If you're against Twitch, like if you're blue side and you're against Twitch, you just have to sit all the way back here.
Yeah.
You really have to. If you don't, then I mean, the thing about Twitch jungle is that like, if you don't let it snowball, then it sucks so bad that like you cannot honestly, like especially if you're blue side, and Twitch, like most Twitches start red anyways, right?
Yeah.
And if you're against like someone who has CC like level 1 or like a gap closer, you just have to sit back. Really, you really do. And like just give up some CS if like just get the XP, like give up some gold if you really have to, and just play safe.
All right.
You can even, like if you're playing Camille, maybe you can just like take E and get the farm like up here, and then if Tush shows up, you just E out, and then you'd probably be fine. You'd lose like maybe half your health, but you wouldn't die, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna die.
you wouldn't die, like
Oh,
if you
okay.
have E, yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right.
Yeah, but really you have to really work on your warding. I think warding
Yeah.
was your biggest weaknesses from these two games.
Yeah.
The first game, I think you were a little too passive. This game, you weren't aggro enough on some of these trades. And mechanics wise, I think like other than like couple missed autos, it was fine. Like most of these coaching sessions, like I feel like most of these people like watch Camille and played Camille enough that like their mechanics are fine. Like not much to critique on that, but it's mostly just like macro. And yeah, just like work on your roams and boards for sure.
Yeah. But macro is really good, like extra good on Camille since she just has so much pick potential.
Yep.
So you can just do so much more with more information.
And make sure if you're on blue side, like take this roam path instead of this roam path.
Yeah. Even if it's warded, or
well, if obviously if this is like if the try is warded, then like if the try is warded, that means like you shouldn't go for the mid roam. But just because this is warded doesn't mean you can't run into their jungle and ward.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you crashed like a huge wave into enemy top turret, then the enemy top laner can't follow you. So like you can still, even if the try is warded, you can still like get some wards. So maybe you shouldn't go like too deep, like all the way here, but you can still ward like here, this bush, the Raptor entrance bush. So yeah.
And one last question, like if I'm ahead and say I get first tower, how do I like
translate that lead?
No, more like in terms of wave management. Say, for example, like top switching to top lane isn't preferable. So like it's better just to stay top because of some reason. Like if you like back, and you have to go back top. If there's a way to like make the upcoming wave slow push to you or anything like that, like things that make me miss.
You mean like
least amount of
you already?
CS.
You mean like you already took the enemy top tower and you like, what's the best back timing? Is that what you're asking?
Kind of, yeah. Like to get the minions in the most preferable spot.
Yeah, I mean obviously like sometimes like you can't get the full reset all the way here because like you're scared of a jungler, right? But you can like, as long as you like have the wave like meet like somewhere around here, and if the wave is like somewhat even, like if the numbers are like somewhat even, it'll push back out to you just because his reinforcement, like his wave will arrive before yours, like way before yours, right? Like sometimes even if you have like 2 or 3 minion advantage, if the wave meets on like over here, it'll actually push out back to you. So there's that. And also and just like have good wards here. So like if you have these good wards, then you can afford to push this wave in without getting ganked. So like if you take first tower, you really have to have this one warded for sure. And this is like a really nice luxury ward too.
Yeah.
So like if you get these 2 wards out and you have top tower taken, then the top side of the map is just yours. Like that's just, and then you choke the enemy jungler out with that. If the enemy jungler just decides to come try to take raptors, you can kill them. You can steal red buff. You can roam into here, raptors, go mid. So, yep.
Yeah, and like for example, if I have a control ward in the river bush, but I take first tower, is it better to buy another one and get one in the red buff bush?
Yeah,
so
yeah. This is a very nice pink ward to have. Yeah, I would say you could move it here, like especially if you take first tower. Like I see so many top laners like leave their pink in here.
Yeah.
And that just like does nothing. And yeah, like moving it to a more aggressive spot, like here, is really nice. Like even here is really good because it can give you like really nice pick potential.
Yeah.
This one I wouldn't ping just because like they go through so many times that it'll get killed anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Also, I think I don't know if I asked this already, but like warding try versus warding deep, when is like the best time to do
Okay.
either?
All right. So let's talk about that for a second. So like around like 3 minutes when you're warding, say you are blue side, right?
Yeah.
Um, it just depends on your jungler's position a lot. So like say your jungle is like a strong jungler and did like blue, wolves red, and then he's contesting scuttle, right?
So, yeah.
If he got scuttle, that means you can ward here.
Yeah.
So this ward, so that would be a better ward than this one, right?
Yeah.
Because if you ward here and your jungler is contesting scuttle, that means you have all the paths covered towards top.
Mm-hmm.
But say your jungle started topside, right? And he path towards bot and he's not there topside to help you. And you know the enemy jungle started bot side and he's coming topside, then I actually like to have this ward right here.
Yeah.
Because this is a nice compromise, because if you ward here, then it's not bad because the enemy jungler can run up river, and since you don't have your jungler to contest scuttle, that means you have to use two wards, right? You have to ward here and here.
Yeah.
But if you ward here, this is nice because first of all, you'll have the
More
river
time.
corded, and with this you actually have more of a heads up time
Yeah.
rather than this ward. So that's the difference. So like ward here if you don't have your jungler to contest river vision, but if your jungler is contesting river vision and has the scuttle priority, then you can choose to ward here.
Yeah. And
So-
if I was purple side,
Mhm.
how would you do?
Okay, so if
do
you're
that?
purple side, then it depends on the also depends on the jungle, obviously. If your jungle is contesting crab, you can choose to ward actually here. I actually really like this ward early game. If your jungle has the scuttle, this is warded.
Yeah.
And if you have this warded, you can usually like check out the blast plant.
Mhm.
And if you're purple side, as we talked about before, if you have a lot of free time after you shove the wave in, like hitting this blast plant is also really good. And I would suggest if your jungler started top side and you're on red side, then you really have to be careful of the gank through raptors. Like if the enemy jungler path through this side,
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a really deadly jungle path. So I would say if your jungle is deciding to start red on red side, kind of ask your mid laner to ward this ward right here, like the river bush, the pixel bush, around like 220 to 30 mark. Because if you
Okay.
don't have this warded from a mid laner, then it's really hard for you to ward as a top laner on red side if your jungler is not going to be top side.
And for example, if you're in a matchup where you kind of have to shove,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
really pressure, you have
yeah.
to
Because like
place like that.
Because like if you ward here, then like you're exposed from river. But if you don't ward here and the enemy jungler decides to take this path, then you're fucked. That's why red top is a lot riskier, just because of this path. And but this path can be avoided if you have your mid laner ward kind of. But even then, you have to be careful because like some junglers can jump over this wall as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, red side top lane is pretty tricky in that regard.
And like,
yeah.
if I had to leash red buff, would
Uh-huh.
it be good to like ward the brush behind it early? Like the one in
Which bush you mean?
the bush behind red buff, like the
If you're ward here, you mean?
the other side, like in the trajectory of the blast.
Oh, this one you mean?
Yeah, this one. Like ward it early.
It's okay, but as I've talked about, like some junglers can just jump over this wall. That's why if you're playing red side top lane and you had to leash, right? I like really hate pushing. If it's if it's your jungler starting red. Like I usually just tend to just freeze over here, because it's
Yeah.
really pretty much impossible for you to like ward out the jungler completely unless your
Mhm.
mid laner helps to ward. But yeah, like blue side can shove even if your jungle is not there, if you have like this ward, and if you have like a Camille or something who has like this decent escape, you can still get out. But yeah, um that's just like how it is though. Like if your jungler is not going to be topside level 3, most of the times like pushing might not be a great idea, you know?
Mhm.
So um just be aware of that. Even if you have decent ward, like even if you're playing blue side and you have like this warded and you're pushed up to here, like even if you spot the enemy jungle on this ward, they can just run through and they might be still able to kill you, right?
Yeah.
So it sucks like when the jungler starts topside, because you have to like play super safe,
Yeah.
because I hate it. I hate having to leash for junglers. Um, but it happens. So in those cases, you just have to play safe accordingly and hope that your jungler can make like play bot side. That's about it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
All right.
especially if the enemy jungle is like scary ganking jungler like Jax or something, like you have to just kind of have the wave frozen towards your side. So,
Mhm.
do you have any other questions?
No, and I gotta go in a bit, so
All right.
I think that's pretty good. And are you uploading the entire thing or
Yeah, I
just
think so. If you
Okay,
want to,
so
if you want me to.
I can, yeah, because I can rewatch it if I forget anything. It's
All right. All right. I hope that was
cringy.
helpful.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. All right. Have a nice
I'll
night,
get.
Yogi.
You too, man.
All right.
Thanks a lot. See you.